Hello everyone and welcome to the Math Bender. I'm Adnan Zaidi, and in this section today I'll talk about functions and their graphs, how to draw graphs before and finding out their values. Let's start. So here's a question here. The table shows a function that is y equals to 3 plus 4x, 4x minus x squared, and the domain of this function, so which means the function existed between -1 till 5 in the x values. You have to find out some of the values are already given of y here and some are to be found out. So when we are to find out these values, so how do we do that? So if I have to find out what is the value of y going to be at when x is negative 0.5, so I just plug it in the equation. 4 times negative 0.5 minus negative 0.5 squared. So this is going to be 3 minus, and if I just apply that in calculator, so it gives you a value of straight away 0.75. You can write that value here, 0.75. Now there's one way of solving it like this. There's another way. So I'll, instead of writing these equations and then separately individually writing these values, you just write the equation like this: 3 plus 4 times, instead of x write answer, minus answer squared. So let's press equal to, and now whatever the value that you want to take, so let's say you want to find out the value at 0, so you press 0 and equal to. Now this value of 0 is fed into the answer tab, and when you go up and you see this equation and you press equal to, you get 3. Then you have to find out at 2, so write 2 and equals to. Now the answer in the answer tab, it is 2, and press equal to, you get 7. The same way 4 equals to, and then again, so you get 3 again, and so on. So 4.5. Now this value is being fed into the answer tab, and then you press equals to again, gives you 3.4 or 0.75. So one way of looking at it is like this. Now let's draw the graph. So marking these values at x is equals to -1, y is equals to -2. As you could see, x is -1 here and y is -2. This is the value. At x is equals to -0.5. So now this graph here, this is half midway line. This is the midway line. So if 10 blocks, small blocks representing 1, then 5 blocks represent 0.5. And this as well here, this one, so -0.5. At -0.5, the value is 0.75 positive. So if 10 blocks here represents on the y-axis represents 2, then 5 blocks represent 1. And somewhere here, you're not accurately drawing it, somewhere here is going to be 0.75. Next, at when x is 0, y is 3. So this point here is 3. At x is equals to 1, y is going to be 6. This value. At 2, y is going to be 7 here. At 3, 6 again. at 4, 3. 4.5 is 0.75. This is 4.5. And at 5 it's -2. So it looks like a curve. I'll try to draw it, although you're recommended to draw it using pencil. I'll draw using a pen. So the graph has to be drawn in a single take, and as I took this one on from -1 to 2 in one take, and the other one from the turning point to the ending point the other take. So, and then using these graphs you will be taking these values. So this is how you draw a basic graph. Let's look at another question here. And if you have this equation here, can you see this? And you have to find out the values of this, this, and this. Rest of the values are already given to you. How do you draw this? Now, we already have discussed how to apply these in the equation and then solve it, but today I will talk about how to cater to these values. Let's say if this question comes in paper 2. So, first step, you go to mode and menu of your calculator. Scroll down until you see the table number 9. I'm using 991EX. So if you are using any other calculator, all of them have the table tab. So I press equal to, and now it says that f of x is equals to, which means the calculator wants you to write down the equation. Now the equation that we have is this. So now can you see the alpha button here? This one, this. So this is alpha, and I want to use x here, and x is on the bracket. Please focus on the video. You could see the highlighting button now. To the power 3. Then minus 3 alpha again. X, instead of x I'm taking that bracket, x squared, and then plus 3. I've written down the equation. It says g of x, which means it's asking for any other next function, but we don't have any. So let's move on. We just press equal to sign. Now it says that the table that you want the values of from where to where, so which means from -1 on the x. So I'll say the starting point is -1, and I press equal to. The ending point of this graph is going to be 3, and I press 3 and I press equals to. Now as you could see, the step means from one value jumping onto the other value. How many values do you want to skip? So as you could see, from -1 to -5 there is a difference of 0.5, and then from 0.5 to 0 is going to be a difference of 0.5. So it would be better for me that if I take a step of 0.5 in each value, a difference of 0.5. So I press equal to, and I get the whole table in. Can you see that? The value of x, when x is -1, the value of y is also -1. I just place -1 here. Rest of the values you can check. All of the values are there, and x is 1.5, y is -0.375. And when x is 3, just keep on scrolling down, y is 3. I've written down all the values. Now, all I have to do is draw the graph now. Now, when x is -1, y is also -1. Then I'll mark this value here. When x is -0.5, y is 2.125. Now, how do I cater to that? If I am not able to mark the exact value, I'll mark somewhere near. So it's going to be in between these two, between 2 and 2.5. So each block, there's a difference of 5 blocks between 2 and 2.5. So what I'll do is, I know that each value is going to be 2.1, and I'm talking about 2.125, so which is going to be here in the center. At 0 it is 3, I'll mark this value. At 0.5 it is 2.375, somewhere here. At 1 it's 1. At 1.5 negative 0.375. At 2 it is negative 1. At 2.5 it's negative 1, 0.125, somewhere here. And at 3 it's 3. Now I'll draw the graph. The stroke of the curve drawing has to be a single stroke, and everything has to be drawn. Don't overwrite over on it, and don't erase too much. Draw with a lighter pencil. So this is all about how to draw curves. In my next video, I'll talk about how to cater to equation of tangents and find out the gradient of a curve at any instant. Until then, take care. Bye bye.